Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back for another Saturday night sci-fi Shadow Chat. I got my notes here in my pocket. I've got my good friend Justin. What's happening, buddy? What the hell? Why is that button not working?
Nothing much. Give me a minute.
No worries. I had a pretty good day. I don't know about you guys, even though it's 4,000 degrees. We're like mile and a half from the sun. Had a really fun game with OGGM, RPG Grandma, Mike and Jen from Married with Gaming and Cal over on the OGGM show. You can go check that out after the show. Don't be going over there now. And of course, did the grocery shopping for the next 2 weeks because we're gluttons for punishment and a little bit of gluttons in the other way. I am stuffed. Had some orange chicken, one of my absolute favorite meals of all time. Chopsticks, the whole bit. The boy was wolfing down. He actually had some carrots. Can you imagine that? A teenager eating his veggies. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. I had a fun conversation with George from Emperor's Choice today. They're going to be on the show Wednesday. We're going to do a special Wednesday show uh, to announce some special stuff. Hope you guys will join us then. How about you, Justin? How's your day?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm just trying a new camera thing here. I don't know how
Okay,
it works.
you're going for that '60s freaking psychedelic look. I'm with you. I'm with you. I could.
No, it's just new. I haven't
Well, this is the best I got. Where is that?
brightness.
No,
The
I don't use
the
this thing anymore. How about that?
what?
Seizure
Oh,
warning? No.
seizure warning. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, crap. No, no, no. There we go. And it changes colors too. I
The
installed those at
blue,
the
the
beginning of the
blue is
year.
only because the restream, the light is bouncing back on my face. I don't have the ceiling light on.
So you do anything fun today, or just
I did some
go around the
writing.
home?
Just did some getting ideas out of the head and working on outlines and stuff like that for other stuff.
What's up, Law Dog? Welcome to the show. Yeah, I already started a new story. Uh, Something I wasn't expecting to do, but I started it anyways. I'm hoping to actually hand it off to somebody else instead of myself so I can actually work on the story. I wanted to do even less, which, I'm going to try and push myself a little more. Got some helpful hint tips from some greats out there like Mac Thompson and Graham, yourself there, of course. And yeah, I'm digging it. What's up, you curious? Having some fun with that, but man, it just the time just freaking vaporizes whenever I sit down to type. A couple hours go by and it seemed like nothing, and then I realized, oh yeah, I had stuff to do. So
Yeah, you gotta get it under control.
yeah, yeah. I think I put in close to 20 hours in the last week, and that's not something I'm used to. So I
But
will have
you're
to.
getting heart and soul out there. I knew you would be the kind of guy that would love writing. That's why I insisted on it. And besides, I
Well, I
wanted someone to
appreciate you
do it.
lighting the fire under my ass. Uh,
Um, yeah,
I know I've got a lot of work, a lot of things to relearn and stuff like that because this is like
yeah,
totally, totally, I, writing for me is like writing down what's inside room number 32, and what the monsters have and drawing up some goofy little maps and stuff like that.
yeah.
What's up,
But
TCG? Uh,
TCG, Mercurius, Law
TCG, did you
Dog.
want any of you guys want to join us? The links over in my general tab on Discord. I tried to make a special channel just for the link, but that option wasn't available on my tablet. My laptop was charging, so I just figured I'll do it
Yeah,
next time. RPG Exile, welcome to the show. Um,
yeah. RPG XL. Yeah, no. Obviously, it's easier to polish a turd that exists than to polish one that doesn't.
Yeah.
So the more you get a bad idea out, the closer it is to becoming a good idea.
Hmm.
So even if you have like a good idea, and you have a pretty good idea there's like rough edges. So I have rough edges on mine, obviously. Um, mine's a first draft, so like,
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what TCG throws our
yeah.
way and anybody else who's interested. I really like the image you showed me. However, I was picturing something a little bit different for the cover, but um,
Well, like obviously you can't use that. That's someone's like art,
mhm,
but
mhm,
if you could find them and license it, that would be cool. Um, but no, that's just what I was picturing for. Like I sent Shadow a picture of like a gate, like a stellar stargate kind of thing,
mhm.
but not one on a planet, one in space. That's what he's talking about. For those out there in the viewing audience, if you want to pull that up, it's up to you.
Um,
Um,
uh,
but I was thinking not in the orbit of planets. That way, there's more potentiality for ship, like starship jacking, like the equivalent of uh, doing a wagon heist would be to jump someone's system hopper, right? Or whatever. I don't know. Something something. Make shit up.
yeah, I don't know how to do that yet.
Okay, it's the you gotta open up the image on
I,
Discord and then
I
use the
did.
share function. I gotta do the same, so I will do it.
It's
Uh, if I can remember how.
oh crap! I don't know how to get back to Restream.
You just hit the window. Yeah, there might be conversation leak between you and I. I don't think we've said anything worth caring about.
No, no, I just
If
don't know how to
you
go back to the Restream. There's nothing on my.
you don't have a tab,
No, I don't.
well, what window did you open Restream on?
Well, I closed it, and now I don't know how to open it back up. Well, you know what? Maybe I could do
Just
this.
open it, then open Restream. It should be there. Some people should not be allowed to use computers. I have this new thing has a like a headlock thing. So like if you look at my microphone
Mm-hmm.
when I'm tilting my head back and forth, so instead of it rotating my head, it's rotating the world around me.
What's up, Jeff? Yeah.
Uh, well, if you can't figure out how to get Restream
Oh no, I'm
up
back.
and running,
I'm back. That's how I.
okay,
Yeah.
there's the things over in the side. You can just share it.
Oh, okay.
You
I
can just
didn't
set
see that.
those.
Yeah, I know how to do that.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
but
It,
but I'm thinking not so close to planets. Like that looks pretty, but um, if it's like right there, it makes it easier for or harder for like shipjacking and shit like that because you're closer to.
mhm.
You're not spending the half week on transit from the gate to whatever the world is or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how
was thinking
fast.
about that too.
There's got to be a sense of slowness to travel.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like if the gates are almost instantaneous, the time from where the gate has to be at the edge of a system to anything worth going to is
Traveler had a bit of that with even though they had the like the jump drives, you still spent a considerable amount of time, because you jump closer to the star, as your nav point, and then you'd have to move in system to get to different places. My problem with it in game sense is that it can it could be a cudgel used by the GM to keep
we're
you
not creating a game though.
right.
Remember that.
Yeah.
In writing that it's time for drama. The waiting is a benefit for interpersonal development. Doc, the link is the same place it was last week, our Friday. So if you go over to general chat and want to hop in, I'm pretty sure Shadow will let you in.
Why do they do this? I don't need help. What I need is to be able to get to my chat.
This side at the bottom.
Yeah, no, I know, but they've got this need help circle right over it.
Oh, for
And
me, it's next
uh,
to it.
can I? No, I don't want that. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Shadow and this technology.
No, it's
He's
restream. The bottommost right hand corner is where the chat button is, but there's also a little round circle that says need help
need help? Question
ri-
mark.
right over it.
Mm, it's not over for me when I use it.
Yeah,
Um,
I can slide up the whole page and get to it, but it literally takes two hands to do that,
oh
and
yeah,
I got another
tablet.
hand doing something else. So
Bow, chicka, chicka, bow, bow. Shadow back to making his adult film
and I believe
content.
that is Doc. There you go. Welcome to the show, Doc. How's it going?
Greetings, gentlemen.
Except for the volume, you are doing fine. I'm gonna go fix
Yeah.
that on my
Yes,
end. I
I'm
don't know.
maxed out at my end. I just have a really shitty microphone.
Yeah, well, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to
Well,
start a Kickstarter for you, man.
Doc, this one costs $12 Canadian.
So that's what, 20 cents in actual money?
Look on Amazon.
Yeah, I have
I
a
don't
little
even.
tiny one built into my also awful camera.
Yeah, I'm just using the mic on my laptop, and it seems to be working fine. Been using it for over a year.
Yeah, I got this new linking software. Uh, Camo. For the camera because he uses a cell phone, and
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting that.
I'm enjoying this. If you watch my mic, I'm tilting my head back and forth, and the camera's moving everything but my head.
Creepy.
Yeah, yeah. When the light's on, you can see the edge of my chair just like flipping up and then down. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go turn the light on.
So how you doing, Doc?
Oh, hanging in there, hanging in there. Taking the week. Finally, have a Saturday off. Thank freaking God, because I was ready
Man,
to
my
go
day
crazy.
my day was so freaking busy. I I barely had time to pinch one out, so to speak. It was just wake up, rush to the grocery store, 2 hours worth of that BS and putting stuff away. And then I got home, was like, oh my God, I'm going to try and take a little squeaky nap before the game. And maybe 20 minutes, maybe 20 whole minutes of power nap to get up and play the game. As soon as the game was over, it was freaking probably 7,000 calories worth of orange chicken and rice. Like, oh, I need that nap. I really need it now. And again, maybe 20 minutes, maybe. But no, I did get a little writing done. I think I wrote one, two, four whole paragraphs.
Woo!
I'll take it. Um,
As long as I get a page or two done a day, I'm very happy with myself.
yeah, yeah. Well, with me, 2 days last week, I probably spent, a good 8 hours a day. And I'm like, no, dude, I still, my story's not even due till Thursday. But, I don't think I'm
Your
going to touch it.
story.
Huh?
For what?
For next week.
Oh yeah. Friday morning, man.
Oh, I thought. Oh, yeah, Friday. You're right. I don't know why I was thinking Thursday.
Yeah.
Um,
You might want to finish it Thursday though.
oh, I'm
And
done.
it's just your first draft, man. Put it in a shoebox for a couple of weeks. We'll come back and polish anything you want
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
With because Graham, not the famous Graham, but my good friend Graham, who's been on my prepper show and stuff like that. He's like, you got to write the whole thing. The whole thing. I want the novel. Blah blah blah. And I'm like,
No. We're
I'm
doing
not.
short stories.
Well,
Short
as you see,
stories.
I could easily, you know, continue from where I left off. You know,
Yeah.
you did finish it, right?
I forgot to do something.
Is this stuff linked on Discord?
Uh,
Is
he
what?
no, we've just been
Stuff you're
sending them
working on?
back.
Oh, okay.
I can send it to you, Doc.
Oh yeah, I'd like to take a look at it. I
I'm not
actually
afraid of.
did write a challenge by a friend wrote a book for doing at least 1,000 words a day, which was like a little over 4 pages.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I got through it. I got to 75,000 words. This was 6 years ago. I have not opened that file again since. I was so burned out by doing that.
Yeah, I'm
I've
trying
forced
not to let
myself
that
to do it,
happen.
and
Well,
that entire book project is just sitting there. I have never even opened it again after finishing it.
that's why. Well, maybe you should just
I I will at some point.
do a chapter a month.
I have like 6 completed novels, and I'm this pathological editor. Part of it is that I'm like really dyslexic, so I got to
Ditto.
go through it 4 or 5 times before it's even resembles
Well,
English.
I'm loving ChatGPT for that because whenever I fuck shit up, I just like tell it to edit this with industry standards, and it formats that crap.
Does anybody know of a good text to speech program that isn't ridiculously expensive?
Text
That,
to speech,
yeah,
like
yeah, because like I'm wanting to put up some chapters and stuff on my YouTube page, but I don't like reading them out myself. I hate my voice, and I tend
do
to
you care? Do you
flub
care
a
if
lot.
it's got inflection or not?
I want it to sound basically natural, not
Okay,
like too robotic.
Don't use the one he's using.
yeah, because I use the one that comes with
The Cracker
Clipchamp.
Jacks,
Yeah, and it's a lot better than the old school stuff, but
like in
yeah.
Colossus, the Forbin Project.
Oh yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, I could cheat and just say, as read by Stephen Hawking.
Yes. No, it's a lot better. It's a lot
It,
better.
it's a
It's a lot
little.
better than that, but
No, it was
it's
like,
got
oh
no
my,
inflection. That's the only thing. It's got no
it's
real
got no
inflection,
soul, no emotion. Uh,
but it's free.
Yeah,
Now,
I put up like one chapter on, and I absolutely hate it when I listen back to it. I don't like my voice, and also I have a hard time reading out loud without like monotoning.
yeah, so do I.
that's what the pause button is for. I think, just guessing, that if you just sort of do it like if you were in front of people, like doing a speech or something, just do like a paragraph or a sentence at a time. Hit the pause, give yourself some time to breathe, reread the
Well, I'm
sentence.
using OBS. I don't even think I can pause it.
This camera software has that function. Which is odd. Um, no, but what you can do with OBS is edit the video file afterward.
Can you edit from OBS, or do you need
You can
something
record
else?
from OBS, and then you take the video file into Clipchamp, which you can
Oh,
get for
okay.
free, and just cut it up.
Let me see. The Clip Champ, it's called.
Yeah.
Let me just mark that.
Uh, you ever open a picture on your computer? You have a Windows computer?
Yeah,
You ever open a picture in the photo library thing?
yeah.
Clipchamp is the purple logo at the top in the corner.
Ah, okay.
So it's like a bundled thing. You can use it through the browser or download it, and It's got some built-in things in their stuff.
Oh,
It's
cool.
offered by Windows.
Yeah, I only need
Occurred to
something
me I
pretty
should have mine open.
It's very basic, like, but it's got a lot of like small bells and whistles. Like if you want text narrated, it'll do that for you.
Oh, cool.
It's got a fairly janky subtitle thing. I don't know how well it works as well.
Yeah, I just need something very simple.
Yeah, I do recommend that if you're doing it, do it in 20-minute clips. Like the videos you make out of it, do them in 20 minutes, put them on your computer, and then stitch them all together. It doesn't like having a lot of files in it at once
Okay, that makes sense.
because it is freeware. So
Oh, very cool.
I think there is a premium version of it, but you don't need it. I like how drinking breaks the fucking
Yeah, I just
camera
noticed.
filter.
It wigged out there for a second. You start like shaking
Yeah,
all over.
wow, that is. Oh my god, that's awful.
It's literally a filter I have called face forward or face follow or whatever. Uh, this is what my camera should look like. This, you know.
That's
Yeah,
I'm
awful.
going back to it
I
for
could never
this
use
one.
that because I'd make everybody nauseous because I cannot sit still. I'm constantly rocking around and.
Well, this thing, yeah. It moves everything around you except for your head, and it focuses. It keeps your head roughly in the center. If you also look like along here, right? You see my hand? It's
Yeah.
interpolating the edge because the camera doesn't have up there because the camera's like down here.
God, that's awful.
I love it. I can't get enough of it. Oh,
Kid with a new toy, man.
yeah. I also thought about switching to this. I'm all black and white now.
The
Classy.
+1 back scratcher.
Oh, I've got the plus deadly back scratcher. My wooden rules over there where I normally scratch my back.
I've got a telescoping back scratcher with a pen clip, so you can put it in your pocket. Like you need it that often that you carry it with you. I'm
Oh,
like,
I fucking need it that often. I'm always scratching my back, man.
I only need it when I'm outside at the patio table. Um,
Well, that's called mosquitoes, bro.
well, it's not really
Or
mosquitoes; it's other bugs, though. I kid you not. I've
bed
been out this
bugs.
last week. Smoking and writing and doing the things. I got hit in the head or the hair at least four freaking times with different insects, and one of them wasn't even a flying insect. It was one of those, I don't know what the hell they're called. They're about a little bit less than an inch long. They've got these pinchers, but at the tail end,
Oh, I
not
know what you mean. I can't remember what they're called. They're nasty
I don't
beasts.
know what they're called either, but it was in my freaking beard. It just dropped from the ceiling into my beard, and I just freaking lost it. You know, um, and then the other day, a moth hit me in the back of the head during broad daylight. I get it if it's nighttime and I've got the light coming off from the laptop and it's dark out there. Sure, this is like noon, and I'm like, what are you doing out? Go, you gotta get out of here. I'm not a bug fan, so I'm gonna throw like lots of bugs in my stories and my games just to irritate myself and Raven because I know how much a
Hmm.
fan she is of bugs. Uh, never let your GM know what you don't like or what you're afraid of. 'Cause if he's a really good friend and a really good GM, uh, he's gonna make you regret that. Don't
Oh
open
wait,
up your GM.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
Here's
of
what's
bugs either,
happening.
but I've
can,
I've had to make my peace with them because I live in Florida and they all carry sidearms down here.
can I make it green?
Hey, what's up, Cal? Cal George, the link, if you want to join us, is in Discord under my general tab. Just practicing your Spanish in case new orcs come around.
Oh yeah, what the hell is going on with this nonsense?
Okay, here let me just real quick explain the whole thing.
Does it look
Uh,
like night vision now?
no, Wizards of the Coast drew a new picture of orcs, but it's actually based on an old picture of orcs from Hollow World, and so people were giving them all kinds of racist stuff, I guess you might say, which you can't blame them, right? If they're going to do that, they drew this picture of the orcs, all dressed in like South American Latino garb, and people were just losing their stuff because they thought this is a new thing, and I hate to actually uh, be on
Defend.
the coast's side for anything because I despise everything they do and stand for, other than miniatures because those things are just that's pure art. Someone sculpted a miniature; it's got no politics, no opinions, unless it's the combat wheelchair, and even then, OGGM threw combat wheelchairs, like giant rats in giant rat men in combat wheelchairs, and we all just lost our you know ever loving minds. It was hysterical.
I
But
think I,
trying to find the dang picture. I'm getting close. I'm getting close.
I think
But
I can scan
all
it
I did
directly
was
now.
go back from, uh, whoever wrote Aaron Alston, who wrote. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's actually in the player's guide. That's why I can't find the damn thing. Uh, Back in Hollow World, there were and I did a review on Hollow World. It's absolute hot garbage. It's literally nothing but in the Hollow World on Mystara or what other planet uh, Hollow World was based on, which was not Earth. Hollow Earth was filled with Egyptians, Mongols, Vikings, you know, Earth stuff, literally Earth cultures, but in fantasy D&D worlds, Hollow Earth. Okay, there's the picture. There we go. Okay, that's an orc in South American, Venezuelan, something like that. Garb, which okay, but the picture depicted them as everything but orky. There were a bunch of falconers. There's this big fat overweight female up on the hill doing like the Lion King thing. Just you know, just a bunch of happy-go-lucky, peaceful, uh, you know, enchilada,
Cocaine farmers.
munching. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
Hanging out in front of the Home Depot.
no, no, no. It was more like they were out on a
Hey,
picnic,
hey, hey, hey.
out on a nice little
Leave Jackie out of this.
having a good old time with their pet birds, and you know, it looked like anything but orcs. I mean, orcs are savage, vicious, dirty, filthy, unkempt
Go like
monsters. They're
my
not
hair
even
with this filter.
not very unorganized, but they showed these guys
What
like they're
man
your,
can
your
fit put a
neighbor
roof
family
on?
down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. TCG Raven talks about no seams as well. I never heard that before. That's funny as heck.
No CMs.
Oops. Right, and why won't that go away? That's it was just dumb, but they did it knowing that a bunch of people would freak out and call them racist and stuff like that for Justin. You got that Dan Aykroyd look going on. It's like you getting ready to do the Twilight Zone intro. Uh,
Yeah.
it was just dumb, more clickbait stuff, kind of along the lines of the Usarians from Star Frontiers when they turned them into those whatever they were trying to do. It's just like, guys, enough. Just put out fantasy generic watery down crap, and you'll be just fine. Trying to stir up controversy.
But isn't this like
It's
official
called
stuff that's
production
doing
value.
this now?
Yeah, it's supposed
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
but they're trying to make nicer, softer, more. No, orcs are supposed to be monsters. They're all evil, even the babies. Kill them before they breed, and then burn their bodies.
Well, you know,
We should tell Wizard of the Coast, look, just pretend they're white people.
They
Then
damn
they can
near
all
were.
evil again.
Right. We should do that because orcs were meant to be scary. They weren't
yeah,
meant to be, your neighbors down the street were bringing you over a pie,
Yeah.
you know,
Unless it's
unless
full
that
of like
pie's got dead
hands and
human
things.
babies in it or something.
Yeah.
You know, um, you have to have bad guys. You're playing a game of fantasy make believe. You have to have good guys and bad guys. It's that freaking simple. It goes all the way back to cops and robbers.
yeah, but like even robbers aren't bad guys, right? Being pro cop is racist. Being anti cop is stupid. Well, a smart thing to do. The opposite of what I just said because of modern politics. But being anti cop is racist or pro cop. One of those things.
Whatever you choose, you're wrong.
Yeah, being pro cop is stupid, and being anti cop no, being anti cop is smart. Being pro cop is racist. That's the one.
So you got to pick a choice between two really dumb options.
It's like voting.
I will let the world shake my yes and no's for you because it's not my head.
He's just gonna do that all night, isn't
Little kid. I can just picture you. I have now seen into your past you as a little kid at the dinner table or at church or something that you're just, you know, in school when the teacher's not looking. I can just see it now.
Yeah.
No, I get it, Cal. At first I thought we could handle 20 Rat Man, but then I was thinking, you know what? If they've got more than, a D6 worth of hit points kind of thing, we'd be smoke. We just be a grease spot. But I'll give him kudos for using, I forget the name of the character from uh, Thundar the Barbarian with the switching head, to be his NPC bad guy Gemini. That was just chef's kiss, man. It was perfectly corny and gonzo as hell. I had an action figure back in the day. I forget who it was, where if you click the button, his head would turn. You know,
Uh, the He-Man one.
no, I don't think it was the He-Man one though. It was actually from like 20 years prior to that. To be honest, I think it was like a Big Jim action figure villain that did that. It was, and his name might have been Gemini as well. Um, Orcs in World of Warcraft are an honorable culture that got bamboozled by the demonic forces. Perfect metaphor, modern times. Yeah. I
So
never
these
played.
guys have like names like Ernesto Bone Splitter. I mean, what are they doing here?
Yeah, I grew up with orcs from, or goblins, if you will, from the Lord of the Rings cartoon, The Hobbit. Even as a little kid, those things were kind of scary. Thinking that those things are hiding in the woods or down underground or in caves. There, there's nothing good about them. They're not. You're not going to rehabilitate them. And if so, then what? Uh, what are going to be your bad guys? Is that the point? Is to make a game of fantasy adventure without enemies?
Just
Or
Yep.
when
is
they
it just
tried
going
to
to be the
make
straight
Tom and Jerry
straight white
friends.
males are the only bad guys? You are going to lose your freaking audience and lose your hat, lose your shirt financially if you try and go that route. Pick
You
something.
don't. You don't. You underestimate the number of cucks there are in the world.
No, I get it, but just offering honest advice that I'm certain they understand. But at some point, that's what orcs were. They were a made up thing that you could hate, legitimately have a reason to hate, because they were literally created to be the bad guys, literally created to be hated, so that you weren't hating your neighbor. You know what I mean? Or your
Yeah.
fellow man, or dwarves, or elves, or gnomes, or hobbits, or whatever. So you guys could all unite against this unified force of evil that could never be rehabilitated, could never be made peace with. You had to destroy them, so that you always had the scapegoat, the thing that spurred adventures, that created situations and conflict. Just a made up boogeyman, and that's what the players are out there to go do, and triumph over, as opposed to fetch quests for recipes for the latest chicken soup. It's just no, nobody wants that, and if they do, they don't really want to be playing Dungeons and Dragons or any real you know adversarial adventure game. They just want a slice of life with different costumes. I recommend they
There's
just go take a vacation to some exotic location, and they'll get their fill of what they were actually looking for, and probably have better stories to tell.
there's nothing wrong with a slice of life game every now and then, but
Hmm.
eh, you don't you don't recreate like you don't like redesign an entire genre setting game to do that. You create a different game for that.
I
And there
wonder how
were
many of
plenty of
these
games
people.
like that. You
I
know,
wonder how many of these people actually play these games. Because, like, if you look on that, what's that site that's completely been overrun by these? It's
all of
like
them, all of
yeah,
them.
true. But there's one. It's like mainly a place where people put new games up, and I've looked at a few of them. They're all these like weird avant-garde
Not drive
games.
through or
Not that's on its way, but it's some other. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like mainly for people designing games and just like sharing the stuff. And it's I've looked at some of these rules, and like the stuff's unplayable.
hmm
I mean, the stuff has obviously never been tested. I wonder how many of these people just like make these stupid
Exactly,
games
Cal.
and never
This
play
is
them.
exactly. This is exactly it. Real life is enough. I'm gaming for something completely different. Exactly.
yeah.
That's why
Well,
I play the kinds of characters I do. I don't play the character that wants to get stuck in town all the time. I want to play characters that, unlike myself, are willing to get up off their ass and go adventure, go visit someplace, go on a hike, or something like that. I'm you know
well, if I'm gonna play a slice of life game, it's not gonna be one in my own setting, right? Like it's gonna
sure.
be like I could see being like a store peddler in a cyberpunk world, or like what are the intrigues and bizarrities of that, or
Hmm.
like
Or
the common one I keep bringing up is Regency fucking England, like the
okay,
Jane
Cal.
Austen. Like I have no idea what it's like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
live
yeah,
that
yeah.
life. Like
Or
so,
court intrigues from another
yeah,
country.
yeah.
Certainly, and there's nothing wrong with inserting that in an RPG, or daydreaming, or whatever. But
Like I
you know,
definitely don't want to spend 6 months in a campaign like that. But then I don't want to spend 6 months in any campaign. Like I only play yours because you're my buddy, and it's not
appreciate it.
total crap. Uh, but it's gone on too long for my normal taste. Like, but that's
Well,
besides the point, right? Like,
Give me 1 second.
yeah. I was talking to Black Pants Legion the other day, and I totally agree. Most people want a soap opera, and most
yeah,
people when they play an RPG, and most people when they watch a soap opera, they don't want it to end. It's just that simple. Most people. A lot of
yeah.
people, do like a one shot or a mini series. Same with their TV. But for those people out there, you know,
hmm
uh, that do like that, like Babylon 5. It was a soap opera, but it did have an end. It took 5 years to get there. A 5 year
Yeah,
campaign, I could do that standing on my head, but
yeah.
I
But
know
like,
that was back.
if you were playing that, you could make it go a lot faster.
Oh,
There's
certainly.
a lot of fluff that was added into that series just because the structure of television at the time, right?
Right. It was 22 episodes a season. Got to fill it with something. If they took
Yeah,
out all the episodes that had not one little thing to do with the shadows or the coming story, you'd probably be down to less than 2 years.
Well, I think it would still be broken up into 5 year arcs, a 5 year arc, because each season was a year in the world.
Right.
But you could easily get each season down to 8 episodes.
Mhm.
Yeah, easily.
But uh, I've been in a lot of long campaigns, but those were all in the past, and most of the people we all know mutually, etc., and the people that like watch our show and whatnot, do not have the time to be absolutely engraved in stone there once a week without fail, not missing a single session. Most
Yeah.
people can't do that.
I'll be honest with you, I'd rather spend the time writing.
Um, I've got a pretty open schedule, so what one game a week with
Your
my folks.
schedule is nowhere near as open as mine, bro.
Okay, you've got like the ideal job then. Uh,
I go to two
uh,
meetings a
you know
week,
what, guys? George,
two,
I was
and I
actually in
bail on half of them.
I was in juvenile hall as a kid, from about 17 to 18, just saying, and I literally played there. I, I knew I knew some kids in there that wanted to play, and so I created a game. I even had, I got these phone calls home, like once a week. I'd get a phone call home, so I'd be like, okay, I tell my brother, hey, I need you to go to such and such page and tell me the experience point numbers, and I'd be writing down notes from my books, the to hit things and stuff like that, so that I'd have all the bare minimum rules until I got transferred to someplace where I could actually have the books. But you know what? If I was ever thrown in jail now for any length of time, that's what I would do. It'd be like, hey, who wants to play some D&D? And
And
then I
then Shadow got ass raped and
they'd
liked it.
probably think it was something completely different. I think I should have. Yeah, I would say something else. Wants to play some Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe not really Dungeons and Dragons because there's a whole dungeon idea. We're already there. I'm gonna be your dragon, buddy. Yeah, no.
Shadow went darker than I did.
God, were we supposed to talk about medical technology?
Aren't we? We're talking
Yeah,
about things
I
that
think
you
we
need to use
we
medical
we we,
technology
we
to
goofed
avoid.
off for a full hour. Let's try
Well,
that for a
that
little
could
bit.
have been used as an interesting segue into medical technology.
What
Why
would
do you
you
need to
need
go to the
medical technology for?
Why do you need to
Anal
go to the
reconstruction.
Why did
infirmary?
you go there?
Why do you need to go to the infirmary?
Anal
You asked the guys
reconstruction?
if they wanted to play what D&D. What were you thinking, son? Um,
Out here it's called Dick and Dick.
or D&D.
Yeah, Dick and 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 Dick.
That's so
Hey man, you have like 90 movies about this topic.
that's so foul. O'Neill, do you see what I got to put up with? Raven, where the hell are you? Hurry up and get in here. Class this joint up.
Raven doesn't class anything up.
Oh, sure she does. She's awesome. If I were designing an RPG, I would put in rules for handling non-combat tasks like old play-by-mail game to keep engagement. But we shouldn't have done that. To keep engagement when getting together is not possible. Yeah, I like that. I'm working on something that is like a play-by-mail God Wars thing, but I got distracted with actually writing something of substance, uh, which is really sucky when I think about it. All the times I could have like documented games in that sort of fashion back in the day, like some of the great games that we've all had, and now when you remember it, you forget like half of it, and it's just a vague memory, but it was a great game, but you can't remember why. Is that just me because I'm old?
Lurg was psychotic and had a weapon that didn't work all the time. That's why that game was great. Lurg.
Yeah, and you know what? I've decided that I'm going to put folks like you guys in my stories from now on. Um,
Are you combing your mustache, you weirdo?
The contrast filter makes it look a lot messier than it is,
yeah,
but I like the effect, so I don't want to turn it off.
yeah. It looks like you ate or you almost were going for a milk mustache, but your hair is just too dark and thick, and it just absorbed it like a sponge.
Yeah, it's the couple of gray hairs.
Oh my God, where is Felix when we need him?
Yeah, Felix doing everything for you out there. Oh wait,
You know, I still got him on Discord. I bet if I go right now and invite him in, we'd never have another show again, right?
yeah, it's kind of sad that you can't disable a person's camera on your end. At least I don't think you can.
Your copy, your cop. Sorry, God, I can't even read. Been doing too much writing. My copy of Castle Falkenstein just arrived.
Mhm.
Nice. I have no idea what that is. TCG,
Castle
you got the
Frankenstein.
link? What are you doing? What are you
I think that
doing?
was supposed to be Castle Frankenstein. Twinkle Star.
I think a system like that would be best for a Twilight 2000 game where it takes you a month to make enough alcohol to drive for 4 hours. Yeah, I almost bought a copy of that a while back, but I'm like, yeah, nope. I burnt through the post-apocalyptic itch I needed scratching, and I'm good. Moving on to other stuff, other genres. I just don't know which one it's going to be because right now I'm gonna focus on my YouTuber friends who've actually put something out for the the world to see, and then I don't know. Let's see what comes after summer. Summer, fall. Maybe I'll jump into horror and run that into the ground for a couple of months. But speaking of running things into the ground, medical technology. Last week we talked about healing and prevention. I was thinking about, especially I think it was Grimm who brought it up, the anti aging type drugs in Traveler, which uh, came about, I believe, mostly because of a game mechanic. Because as you're generating your character's life path, you tend to want to make them older and more experienced so they get more skills. But then it comes the obvious, oh crap, my character's 56 years old and still has an 18 strength. No, I don't think that's right. What do you think, guys? You guys still have the same strength you were as a youngster, college era? Yeah, I can't
I
No,
pronounce
think
that
so.
word. To save my life, um, I just can't pronounce that word. So we're just gonna say anti-aging. If you want to,
Anagathics.
anagathics, is that easy?
Anagathics. Yeah,
Okay,
Anagathics.
I must be partially dyslexic because I see something completely different.
One thing
Anagathics.
I thought was weird about Travelers that they still have you basically aging at the same point. You'd think people would be living longer and healthier at that point, at that kind of technology level. I mean, when I ran games, usually I didn't make people start rolling until like they hit like 44. I just
Well,
moved it back.
our life expectancy is actually decreasing due to the luxury of modern society.
Because we did hit a point I think up to the 60s or 70s where we were at we had gotten to the peak, and I think now the 80s and on down. I think maybe it was the 60s or 70s we
It's
declined.
it's corn syrup and office jobs that are killing people
Oh,
faster.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
I've gone to great lengths to cut at least the corn syrup and even regular sugar out of my diet. It's hard though because it's in like things you would not expect, like ketchup. When I
Oh,
saw,
ketchup's like 90% sugar, bro.
Yeah,
I
huge
know I'm
in
like,
sugar.
what the?
Yeah. You can go back to the old recipe when it was an anchovy paste.
Yeah, I don't think
That
I'm
just
doing
make
that.
you want to die.
I like anchovies, but not as a paste.
Must be some weird Canadian thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, George. It's
Anchovies go great with pineapple on a pizza.
I can't picture that to save my life. I made the most beautiful pizza last week: red pepper, onion, pepperoni, and pineapple. And
You'd be surprised. The spicy and sweet really really symmetrize with each other. Whatever they complement. That's what I'm looking
dear
for.
God,
Compliment.
Anon, no, I'm not. I'm not going to highlight that message. Everybody else can read it. I'm not bringing it up on the screen because you're a weirdo. Because I was later on. I'll go over that.
Well, well,
Um,
that's kind of what I'm talking about with our shared universe. Is technically the ships are for the most part slower than light. They need the gates for faster than light travel, right? Yeah. So touched on that earlier. Space westerns. So medical technology, anagasics. Yeah, yeah. A fountain of youth and a pill.
or a shot or a regimen
Yeah.
or even some sort of like uh, scanner or beam process to kill all those little critters on your skin or get rid of cancer or hell
Yeah.
even if you think about like the transporter that we were talking about a while ago you go in
Last
something
episode.
like that and even though you lose your soul the body that comes out is going to be technically perfect or could be
Do you
made.
lose your soul? Do you actually know you lose your soul? You only
I'm just
theorize. You
I
only
that's
theorize.
that's just my theory because I don't like the idea. I mean, I don't think. Uh,
To technically getting a tattoo causes you to lose your soul. So if you follow the book of
I think
Deuteronomy or whatever,
I
it's.
think that's Leviticus.
what you're supposed to get the books wrong, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Uh, I think once you break down the body to its microscopic little particles, I think you would sort of sever some sort of mystical link. But clearly, that's not what they think happens or act the way that happens in not just Star Trek. Um, Blake Seven had them, and other
Yeah, you know
sci-fi
why they had them, right?
plot simplification.
It was cheaper than having the
Yeah.
shuttle running around
Yeah,
on
Star Trek
screen.
couldn't afford the
Yeah,
special effects. That's why they
Right.
did that.
yeah.
But if you could go through something like that, then you could purify your body, get rid of cancer, any defects. Hell, if you broke a bone or like your spine, like Worf did, throw him in the transporter and use his old pattern and bring him back. Maybe he might forget the last 2 weeks, but it sure beats the hell out of being forced into a wheelchair, right?
Yep. And you think they wouldn't sign up for that kind of
Well, not only that, but think about it like this: if you could if you could take somebody and put them in a process like that, and then you had other
we had this
files.
conversation last week, bro.
I understand, but you could use it to improve the person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Like Demolition Man. You go into cryo prison and you come out knowing how to knit.
right? I meant physically. Or like think about like using some of those technologies to give a person wings that actually worked because you used you beamed in a bird or something like that and just
I saw the fly. I don't want nobody fucking with that technology.
Yeah, I would not sign up for that.
can you honestly say that if science and scientists and corporations got a hold of things like that they wouldn't do that on purpose? They might not seed entire worlds with new species as tests, kind of like in Fallout, where
Yeah.
they made the vaults as big old
Laboratories.
yeah for human testing of different theories and goofy ideas. What would happen if we made everybody out of ice cream? You know, just crazy shit, or just fed
Mm,
them nothing but ice cream.
ice cream.
All right.
Black cherry. I love myself some black cherry.
What's your
With
name?
it, no, the ice cream.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, there is a type of ice cream called black cherry.
I am aware of it. I've got black cherry tree out in the front yard.
Yeah,
I could do that. I could do that. I'm
yeah,
actually looking forward to the next time I actually go to uh, Sam's Club because I'm going to probably pick up an ice cream maker because why the hell not, right? Homemade ice
yeah.
cream. I've never actually had it, and I'm certain, just like
It's a pain in the ass to make.
I'm certain of that. But
I would think. Yeah.
You gotta chill the stupid thing just right, and then it was like chill it, then mix it, then chill it again, then mix it some more, some shit like that. But yeah, it's really good if you do. If you get it to set just right, it's
that
really good.
was our medical discussion for the evening.
Yeah. But you got to have that bottle of caramel sauce with the ice cream.
Good point, Cal. If everybody was made out of ice cream, the world would devolve into cannibalism. Yeah.
The worst thing that could ever happen to me is becoming a Pizza Hut. So I go the same way as that guy from Spaceballs.
George, I actually only saw Blade 7 for the first time sometime after 2020. I was amazed. That show was fun. It was, I grew up hearing about it all my life, kind of like the Colossus movie we just reviewed. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have seen that decades ago. I would have just stolen
I
some
couldn't
of.
watch it.
I've never seen that. It's a British show, right?
Yes, it is. It
Yeah.
is. It's it's hokey and campy, but it's got some nuggets in there. It's like watching Land of the Lost. If you watch it with a grown up brain, you will find some things that you could easily adultify, not like that, and make a little more grown up, and really borrow some interesting, uh, nuanced ideas. Brian Bless was in it. I don't know the name of any of the actors. I used to know the name of Avon's character because he just stole the damn show, right, guys? Pizza the Hut is going to order you as a takeout, Justin.
And he's more than welcome to order me, but he's getting eaten if he does. Me, I eat some fucking pizza. This guy.
You couldn't find a show that had a hacker in it that was older. Yeah, it was. A lot of these shows really are ahead of their time. It's just
Hmm.
that the budgets aren't concurrent with the modern expectations, which
Plus, anything that BBC makes is going to be terrible now. There's actually a BBC rule that no villain may have any scar or disability of any kind.
since when?
That's a new
That's
rule.
that's that's been going on for it's been going on for a little while. It's probably 2 or 3 years now. It's been out. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just decided that too many villains had scars, and that's like an attack on people with disabilities. So now they all have to be like physically perfect. So it's
Yeah.
England.
I guess to reflect the monarchy better.
Yeah. The the stupidity of that remark. The reason why you give your villain scars is to show that they're doing dangerous stuff a lot,
That they're willing to
and
take
there are
dumb
consequences.
chances to risk something that nobody else would risk.
Yeah, it's like they live fast and light, loose lives that
Mm-hmm.
involve danger, and scars
It
represent
kind of
danger.
reminds me of the one where
Ooh,
all villains had to smoke for a
danger,
while.
danger.
Every villain was a smoker.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
trust me, I'm not a villain. I just play one on YouTube. Uh, so back to the life extension aspect. Uh, it,
Immortality is good,
it absolutely is.
just
But
because
do
I
you
like
see?
to laugh over those who don't have it. I,
Hmm.
I
yeah.
can't I can't go he because
Yeah,
shadow.
I only like those to go so far though. I like when anti-aging drugs. I like to usually have them like stop working at a certain point or start
Right.
doing wacky
Yeah.
Well,
things with
but
it.
I got to admit, I do like the idea of having either the bad guys or a class of people that are going to live exceedingly long lives because if you have the money, you're gonna do it because you can't take that money with you. So you might as well try to spend it while you're doubling it on a daily basis. They would, those kind of people would seek it out, would try to create the altered carbon or some other
Um,
life extension program, don't you think?
Oh,
I like
absolutely.
also the stories that explore that. Uh, there was
Living
one
a
called
longer life.
Remnant Familiar that explored the societal conflicts of the upper class being practically immortal.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, once you get into that, and also like the CRISPR designer babies and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
the wealthy have always considered themselves to be a fundamentally separate species, and once they have the paperwork to back it up,
Yeah. What was that
it's
movie?
gonna be
Gattaca.
genocide time.
Gattaca really
Gattaca.
was really eye opening for that. You're going to see that. You're going to
Oh,
see
absolutely.
science and medical technology making the ultimate profit. You know, extending life beyond you know what was previously feasible. That's going to be the ultimate profit. That way, you have an ultimate, never-ending customers that need you always. New organs, new this, new blood, etc. They're going to have the monopoly on it, and they're going to find ways to keep your ass around forever, paying the bills. Right?
Mm. They've already begun. Like there are some interesting breakthroughs in synthetic flesh growth and synthetic muscle growth.
3D printers making ears and fingers and crap like that.
Yeah.
How
Well,
long is it going to be before they make other things, and make other people's weird ass dreams come true? Like, what was that character in South Park who wanted to be a dolphin?
yeah. Um, was one of the dads,
Yeah,
right?
it was
Yeah, I think it was
Tom's dad.
I think it was the Marsh, the Randy Marsh.
No, it was the other one. It
Oh
was
yeah, yeah,
his kid's dad.
Kroplowski.
Yeah, the Jewish guy.
Yeah,
Uh, that's his name, the Jewish guy.
And then he started demanding dolphin bathrooms everywhere.
right. I was thinking about that too. And on, they talk about the, like cyberpunk, and I'm like, that's fine, for the peasants. They get the clunky old hardware, but think about the one of the reasons why I don't like the cybernetic stuff is I'm attached to my skin, so to speak.
Yeah, but if it's new skin,
But
right?
if you
Yeah,
could feel these things, you're going to feel more alive. You're going to feel, that there's more to enjoy and more pleasures to be sought out versus becoming more, I could see the hardcore intellectuals going, okay, I'll go with the cybernetic stuff because it's maybe more efficient and cheaper. But at some point, as long as you've got some living tissue left, you could just reverse the process with the newer biotech and have all that mechanical stuff actually replaced with brand new biological stuff and reverse the process. If you went out and did
yeah.
cyber
Well,
jobs.
let me just say something. TCG, cat girls are the nearest dollar store away. It's just a fucking headband. Uh,
Well, also once they can grow skin, you might
well,
have a lot of
no, that's the
cybernetic
thing. They already
robots.
can. There
Yeah.
was a lab about 5 years ago that grew a 3 inch square of living flesh that was being fed through a chemical bath,
Yeah,
and
so you could potentially get cybernetic limbs with actual like tissue.
Well, no, like I was saying with the 3D printed ears and fingers, those are
yeah,
they work.
yeah,
I mean, it's not the inner ear; it's the outer. If your ear
yeah.
gets lopped off, you can still hear, not as good. But then if they create a and 3D print on your skull a new. ear flap.
Well, yeah, that's like shaping that synthetic flesh I was just talking about.
Right,
The chemistry for making that is just not so complicated to be stable.
right.
From what I understand, so it's time consuming and expensive. But
I think the latter is more likely there, and I'm just saying, especially when you have certain kinds of folks who like certain kinds of people that they're not supposed to have certain kinds of activities with. They're going to, start with that and create concubines of all sorts, shapes, sizes, and age ranges,
yeah,
which is, vile and
synthetic
disgusting.
flesh love dolls.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah.
at some point will literally be the equivalent of printable slaves.
That's one thing I do like about my country is that we are excessively authoritarian on too many things. But one of the good things is that even when liberal and NDP, that's our farmers middle party, um, will put out token claims for abolishing the minimum age. They also turn around to make laws that harshly criminalize like child porn and like it's illegal to buy a sex doll under 4 feet or something like that in Canada.
Really, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
you can't even buy a short one.
What if you are yourself
Too
four
fucking
foot
bad.
tall? What?
Too fucking bad. You can't buy a midget sex doll.
That's hysterical. At the same time, inspiring that they've
Yeah,
thought that, hey, you know what, this is only going to lead to someplace dark.
yeah. So you can't even have the fantasy of child porn or whatever.
Which
Which
you shouldn't. You should, if you find yourself, having such things, you should immediately go to your nearest maid center and tell them to be done with you. Um,
yeah. Um, by force,
if
and the
necessary.
nearest maid center is a lamppost that's closest to you, and some rope.
Well, I mean, if you find out that, like, not you per se, but if a person
Yeah,
found out, or suddenly started having those kinds of thoughts, they should
yeah.
just, take themselves down or maybe get themselves exercised or something like that. But yeah, don't do that. That's just foul, wrong on
Disgusting.
every level. Uh, I mean, personally, I don't understand it. I remember when I was, young, looking forward to being a grown up so I could do the things that grown ups did. Um, but I have my theories as to why certain people are like that. But that's not what this discussion is meant for. Um, the whole idea of life extension. Um, do you think there's ever going to be a top out point, artificially, or do you think the sky's the limit?
Well, there's from what I've read, they think if basically they can get people to live to about 180 or so without modification to them, just through medicine. That's probably where it'll top out naturally. But as far as I mean, well, also you have to remember people are going to die from other things. Isaac Arthur did a thing on this, and he's like saying that like one person in a million would probably live to 7,000 just from accidents and going by the death statistics we have now. That'll
Yeah.
probably be a little better in the future, assuming things don't go
Um,
up Mad Max. But yeah, you're probably only going to wind up
you
practically
ever
living to
you ever
7,000.
watch Lex?
Unfortunately, yes, I have been tainted
Okay.
by that.
Lex was good. It was a fun little
It
teenage
was
romp.
weird. It
I
was
saw
weird.
the first episode and then I never saw any more. It
Okay,
wasn't necessarily an
so
active choice, but I remember nothing about it.
okay, it was fun. It's weird. It's Gonzo. If you like Gonzo, you'll like Lex. Um, it's a little perverted by intention, but still. Um, Lex loves Lex. Uh, the one character Kai, uh, he's of a race called the Brunnen G, and they're immortal, right? They did it. They found immortality. And they were like a noble warrior race. They became immortal. And then they became cowards out of fear of fucking infrastructure breaking down and falling on their heads. Just like there's a musical episode and they're all singing about um, best episode ever, by the way, of all TV, the Lex musical episode. Um, of like cowering because they're worried about loose masonry killing them, like wasting their immortality over a falling brick or whatever.
Wasn't
Yeah.
he like undead or something as
Well, he,
well?
he was immortal, but the Defying Shadow killed him and then reanimated him to use him as a zombie assassin. Yeah, and that's not you, Shadow. That's like someone with actual authority. A fictional insect god. Yeah,
There literally can be no correlation. Yes.
that show was fucked up. There's a lot of stuff going on there. The, I'm just saying, I don't care what Zev you like. I want both of them. Oh,
Okay, so do you think that uh, cloning will be like the next step or stopgap? And do you think that
cloning organs would be cool, but
no, I mean like the whole thing, like oh he died, just clone him like they've done in so many
Well, there'll
uh,
probably be something like that, and people leaving all their stuff to themselves and
right.
all kinds of
yeah,
wacky crap. That I'm sure that'll be tried. The other thing is that with clones, though, so you never get an exact copy.
mm,
And also, a lot of times with clones, weird genetic switches get thrown.
yeah,
So things like Dolly the sheep was carnivorous
That's terrifying.
carnivorous.
because it just weird things got turned stuff that's supposed to be off
That
the
was
sheep.
clearly God saying, "Don't do this, or you're going to have the sheep eating you."
Yeah. Well, as
Yeah,
soon as I heard Scotland did sheep, I immediately was concerned. I was like, oh
yeah,
no,
and
I couldn't
that the
do this.
sheep aged faster. It aged really fast until it got to the age it was cloned at, and then I think it died or something.
Yeah, because all kinds of weird. There's all these little like stuff that's supposed to be turned on and turned off, and it gets all screwy when they clone something. I mean, that'll probably get straightened out at some point.
It's
Right.
not
Well,
It's
long.
just
they'll
never
keep
a copy.
practicing and refining the technique until it's ready. Unfortunately, you are going to get Frankenstein monsters up until that point, especially if you do the cloned organs and body parts. At some point, you could literally be 50, 90% clone. Other than obviously they're going to want to keep the brain as intact as possible, thinking that's the center of everything. But once they even get that, I always thought though that your clone there'd have to be a massive breakthrough in some sort of technology to keep the to
Bucket or something.
to get the clone brain to be anything other than an infant when it was born or alive. First alive, you'd have you know
My
a
bucket or something.
big giant walking around baby. That had no actual lived experience. How would you transfer your intelligence to the clone if that was even a possibility?
Well, Altered Carbon had some sort of memory chip that was implanted in the back of your head.
Right. I could see once they get the chip design, they could then start recording your every move and every action and every experience and do something like that. But in lieu of that, um, I don't see how it would work.
Um, Poorly. Who knows? I don't know, man. Make some shit up. Uh,
Obviously, a lot of trial and error, and that, of course, would give you a lot of interesting RPG, game ideas, especially if you're starting a game that was just introducing that technology to its world. You could get a lot of, weird things, almost like Blade Runner, where you're one of the guys that's going out there making sure the new test subjects are functioning properly, and then when they, you know, get a little janky and go off on their own, hunting them down and bringing them back, that sort of thing, or just
Um, if you have no problem with a female protagonist, I highly recommend you read the Remnant Familia uh, book series.
yeah, I
Um,
don't have problems like that. As a matter
yeah,
of
so
fact,
some people do.
uh,
Um,
one of the stories I'm working on right now, it's about a girl. Uh, so I've got no problem doing that. I'm certain I can,
yeah, I,
write
I,
from
I'm
that perspective.
currently working on a story with twin sisters, but it's not going to be part of our book club. It's going to be under a pen name.
Okay, I already have reservations about this.
You you're not the target audience.
Are you
40 year
sure
old
about that?
40-year old cat moms are the target audience with that book. Maybe
Cat
60.
moms?
Yeah, like Raven. I'm just saying, if you ever in the drugstore and see a book written by someone named Maya D. Hertz, uh, that pen name is reserved. I looked it up. No one's got it. It's mine.
It's yours.
I'm pretty certain they've already started that procedure there, Anon. If you look outside your door, I just don't think they've actually supplied them with the weapons. It's like go get your own. That was weird. Yeah, I think
Oh,
sci-fi, in a way, has so much room because you don't really see that sort of thing, in fantasy. Sure, you get the odd lich and things like that, but you don't really get people trying to really transform themselves in strange new ways. I think
yeah. No, you get people who are transformed in strange new ways against their will in fantasy.
mhm,
In sci-fi, you get people who are so deracinated they do it intentionally.
mhm.
Except for in that one Baldur's Gate game, not the most recent one, but the one before that, where they had a pirate who was transgender and harassing people
Which is funny
because
because I
they were
think
a tranny. But it's in a world where like absolute and unrefutable sex change technology exists and is cheaper than a dagger, but this person still hasn't used it. Like when you work with world lore and politics,
yeah, because if you think about it, that would be an interesting twist on the traditional fantasy role playing game, where magic
no.
is not this dusty old you know cryptic lore when it's finally you know uh, mainstream sort of thing. Not like beyond
So
Harry
you
Potter,
mean like the Forgotten Realms?
even more so. I mean, turn it up to
Well, I
13 and a
was,
half or something.
I was for a long time was thinking about running a fantasy game. And it was probably as a short thing, but it was basically almost going to be like a medieval Flintstones, and that it's like they have everything we have. It's a magical equivalent to a technology
Mhm.
Yeah, I
where
think
there's
they
like
have that.
television and
It
stuff.
sounds a little bit like Max Liao's favorite game, but I'm thinking of it on maybe a different level because eventually like any other science or technology, it's going to become mainstream. It's going to become more commonplace, and
If it's easy for people to replicate.
right, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things with okay, maybe Ars Magica. I'm not familiar with that. It just stands to reason that you know if doing this little thing with your fingers, some words, and a little bit of vitamin or whatever, suddenly you've got the equivalent of a light bulb. They're gonna pump that out. They're gonna hire a bunch of people, teach them the thing, and next thing you know, you've got magical light posts everywhere.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they do that? Unless there is
Stupidity.
Well, unless there is, a drawback, a cost that's more than just, what it usually is in fantasy games.
That's lame, bro.
I mean, but it's logical. It makes sense that they would try to do that. At least some
So
countries.
so here's the question I have you. How much do you think the Thieves Guild is paying to prevent the city from putting up light posts?
Yeah, or they would just counter it with darkness spells, you know. Uh, but if the right group of civic-minded folks got together and stomped out the thieves guild and created a brand new society where they were bound and determined to teach each and every citizen a couple of spells, and generations go by, you're going to have something very akin to modern our modern world. It's just, instead of science, it's going to be sorcery. And
Then you go to mage school, get yourself hundreds of thousands of gold pieces into debt to be making +1 scimitars in the factory all day.
yeah, yeah, but like, as a matter of fact, there's a game called Dragon Star, which was I believe was a D20 game many, many, many years ago, and that was like that throughout the whole freaking galaxy, and I loved it. Uh, but not too many other folks did, apparently. As something different. It wouldn't be something I'd want to run all the time, because it seems like it would be incredibly
Tiresome.
taxing. As a GM, to constantly come up with, you know, something that would be interesting to play, and not just a sci-fi game with a different set of rules for technology. Because
Mhm.
otherwise it just becomes, there's nothing special about it.
Yeah, there's like a peak point, then it just falls off, and you're playing a science fiction game all of a
Hmm.
sudden,
Hmm.
and it just
Exactly.
really.
Exactly. That's why
Yeah.
I don't like to do that. Although I do have a campaign that's still running, that's something like that. But I found the trick was to uh, keep science around, to keep it doing what it would normally do, and different cultures would look at the two choices and pick the one that was best for them, so that you might go to a world that's 50-50 magic and science, or 60-40 or 10-90, make each different world different, so the players didn't know exactly what to expect. They find some worlds that they preferred over others, which is ideally what you want in any game that deals with more than just one world. You want them to have places that they want to go, and then you as the GM can go, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about all those other planets. We're just going to stick with Tatooine, Hoth, Bespin, Genosha. I've got my 12 worlds, and now that they don't care about the rest, we'll just stick with that, as opposed to arbitrarily going, okay, there's just this one solar system, and you can bip around, in that system, and like the Knights of the Old Republic games. If any of you played those, there are only like half a dozen worlds, and you can go from whichever one you wanted
Mm.
after a certain point, and do the things. But nobody ever questions, like, why aren't there more worlds? I just go over here. There's stuff to do here. Let's do that.
Yeah. Well, I bring up because you mentioned those worlds. I don't know if that's in reference to me saying that's how most of the worlds should be in our thing. I don't think there should only be a few worlds in our writing thing. Um, just saying, like the majority of them would fall into those categories. There should be like thousands of fucking
Oh,
worlds.
absolutely, absolutely. And if
Just
because of
and they're only like that because no one's come around to terraform them yet.
right,
Yeah.
and there should be you know an unlimited number of choices, because I was thinking about it myself. What if I was going to draw up a map of the star system, and kind of do some little lore on each little place, and I guarantee like TCG is going to be like, well, you didn't make the right world for me for this particular story I'm writing. Well, it's over there then. Just
Yeah. No, even if you do, because we got that map, we should really sit down and create like a
political
place where
divides,
we can.
maybe.
No, not even that. Like have them pop up as we create them, but
Uh-huh.
Leave the unknown areas unknown until someone writes about them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that way,
Because like everything from Star Trek to BattleTech, there's countless worlds that they may be a dot on a map, but nobody's ever thought to flesh them out.
yeah.
Even Traveler did that. It would give you this the generic universal profile for characters or planets, and it would have these numbers telling you how much water, tech level, etc. But that's just a still. It's just a skeleton. Oh, you're here. Okay, buddy. Give me just a second to finish my sentence. Even though
Hmm.
they gave you the bare skeleton, it's got a law level of this, a tech level of that. That doesn't tell you squat about the world.
Yeah.
18 different people
The
can look
culture.
18 different people could take that same profile of a world. Okay, it's got a law level 3, atmosphere 4, blah, 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 and come up with completely different, perspectives on what that world would be like because of their own biases and just general desires of what they want to, you know, game about or write about or talk about, however you want to put it.
Mhm.
What's up, TCG? Welcome back to the show.
Not much. Well, you told me Trigun, so my first thought is less about the world itself and more about the immediate area. Because the rest of the world, well, it could be higher tech, it could be lower tech. What's really
Yeah, yeah,
important is
yeah.
where you are right now.
Yep.
All the
So the
stories
world
are
and the
what's going
story I'm
on.
writing is not going to be that important compared to the location itself.
Yeah, but if you name that place gets assigned to some star out there in
Oh, I,
that
I
that
haven't
other
even named the
universe.
world, and I don't think I was going
Yeah.
to through at least through this book.
Okay. Well, short story.
Agreed. And on trying to do what so many GMs do is to codify everything. You will drive yourself crazy, or you will do so much work only to find your players don't care. And part of the reason they're not going to care is because they think you've
Th-
done all the work.
So they
And
don't have any say in building that. Like,
well, there's
yeah.
being the control freak that I am, there's only so much I'm willing to hand off to them in what I'm going to let them fly with. I usually like to keep it like we did with OG's game, session zero. Let's spitball some ideas. Once you give me the things like you want and like, etc., then I'm going to go. But in the middle of the game, I find that a little too weird for me. When someone says, "Okay, I'm going to the shop," around the corner, it's like I didn't know that was there.
Well, if
You
there's a shop in town, you
know,
know.
I mean, like a very specific, you know, uh,
Yeah.
named everything. It's got all that I'm looking for, etc. The prices are dirt cheap. It's like whoa, 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 no, 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 no.
Yeah. No. 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 That's then
That's my big
once you
objection to the
what.
whole 4D thing. Is
Well,
that just
4D, you wouldn't be allowed to do that in 4D because that's breaking
I
a
know.
rule. But in 4D, you'd like walk up to some peasant and go, "Is there a cobbler in town?" And they might be like, "Yes" or "No," and that would be the game master playing the peasant, right?
Right. He at least has some something to do other than just facilitate everything
Yeah.
for the players, because I find that's one of the things I don't like about that is it seems like you've just become, instead of a creator as a GM, you're just a facilitator for all of the players weirdest sickest fantasies, and not necessarily mean
Well,
that way, but just
it,
just allowing them to game the system without
yeah.
any pushback.
Um, you have to have players that won't deliberately meta, right?
Mhm.
Like Omen out as much as I do, I would never want to play in that kind of system with him because he's a meta player. He says so himself, right? So he would be trying to like, oh, I could just make up a store with low prices. I don't think he would be that bad, but there
No,
are a
no,
lot
no,
of
of
people
course not.
out there that,
No, he's a great guy. He just
yeah,
he's played a lot of you
stat
know
oriented, structured systems that,
right
and he's that kind of thinker. So
and
And I try
there's
very hard not to
literally
be a meta player,
yeah,
but I unfortunately
it's
tend to slip into it occasionally.
well,
we're
it's very
human.
easy. Don't read the rule book.
Well, no, I don't do that kind of meta. I actually like. I love. I'm playing in Bruce's beta test game. I haven't read anything from his book, so I can't metagame in that way. No, it's more along the lines of metagaming with knowledge I shouldn't have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I'm surprised that like science fiction and superhero or modern day contemporary games, whatever you want to call them, aren't more popular because then you get to use what you already know, and you know you can't say, or the GM has a hard time saying your character wouldn't know that. Well, but I do.
And I live in that kind of
Yeah.
world that's supposed to be in. So
You would have access to that, and that's why to this day I was talking to George about it yesterday. Was it yesterday? Why these things aren't so popular to a brand new gamer. When they have all these genres to pick from, they always go to the fantasy, which is a genre that the average person would know dick about.
it's
You know,
Yeah.
expectation.
Yeah.
I think it's
Like,
really expectation.
I mean, because
like, and
obviously
what?
we all, there's hardly anybody on the planet who hasn't seen like the Lord of the Rings or
Well,
some fantasy story.
I, I ask you, I ask you, how much different would role playing be today if instead of D&D in Stranger Things they were playing, I don't know, Cyberpunk or whatever was available. I
I
don't know
don't
what
think it
years.
wouldn't have
I
been
don't.
as successful because of the demographics, but it is, if you think about it, like
Well, I'm just saying hypothetically that group of kids picked up whatever. I think Cyberpunk wasn't out yet. It didn't come out until
Traveler or Gamma World or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. I think they were playing the sci-fi game, or they even set the show ahead 5 or 6 years, and it was Cyberpunk, uh,
Shadowrun too, yeah, yeah.
Shadowrun.
Not
But
a
I think that
fan, but
was the same company. I think that's younger, a newer product than Cyberpunk.
yeah,
But still, you know what I mean, right? Like, how much different would the genre be if they were playing,
the genre,
but
or you mean the?
the landscape of people playing role
I
playing
think a lot
games?
of that was name recognition too. I don't think it would have
Well,
had the same effect if it was something else.
that's the thing. People play fantasy role playing games because the name recognition.
Well,
Also,
yeah,
it's
but
just
I'm
it's a
thinking,
much more popular
I'm trying to
genre.
think back, like back in the when let's say 1970, not 74, but 1970. If Gygax and Arneson were more sci-fi fans, fans of whatever sci-fi was available at that particular specific time, if they had done that and created that instead of a fantasy game, it seems to me that everybody can relate to that more. You had Star
Mm.
Trek and things like that, but very few people, even back then, were experts on or even vaguely familiar with anything other than maybe Robin Hood, King Arthur, etc. There was very, very
Yeah.
little popular
Yeah.
literature.
I stand an
Mm.
exception as one of those people who can successfully metagame for playing fantasy because I actually have basic knowledge of blacksmithing. I know leather working. I
Mm.
actually know a fair bit about farming. So I could technically do that. I try not to because there's certain things my character wouldn't know.
Mhm.
But it
Mhm.
but not many people can say that. They're like, oh well, I swing hammer. Oh, you have to know how to swing the hammer. You have to know what angle to swing the hammer. Because if you swing the hammer angle wrong, you'll just leave a big old dent in your metal instead of getting a nice flat piece.
Mhm.
And there's just these little things you have to know, and then people are like, oh, I know how to do this.
You,
No,
you really don't need to describe that in role playing games, though. You just assume that when they say
Mhm.
swing hammer is the correct swing,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, unless your character is completely unskilled at it, like he's a magic user wanting to take up blacksmithing because he wants to start forging magical swords. Well, then you may role play a little bit of that, and then at some point
Yeah.
he's gonna have to get a book or a mentor to teach him this stuff, and then you just hand wave through a
Yeah.
montage scene of that, unless you're playing one of those games where it's
yeah,
minute by minute by minute. There is no fast travel, which I don't want to be part of. I don't need, you know what I mean? I don't need to
Yeah.
be in that character 24/7, except when they're sleeping. And even then, God knows what kind of dream sequences you're going to run through.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. But well, part of what I was referring to is trying not to metagame the knowledge of how long something's going to take, and just accepting the GM's decision. Like for example, I did not intend to, but I ended up arguing just a little bit with Bruce about how long a project was going to take because I personally know it wouldn't take that long. But I quickly bit my tongue, apologizing, but it just kind of came out because I know leatherworking.
Well, you also got to remember that leatherworking from the standpoint of a person who has properly cured modern materials.
That is
We're in
true.
a fantasy world.
Another thing is, in a fantasy situation, you can just change the way things work.
so
Like, for
take care,
example,
Anon. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, party on.
like I like
Jackie.
to include firearms in a lot of my fantasy games, but you can't. For example, I don't. You can't
Say
make
hi.
gunpowder. It's something that has
Hello.
to be found and refound. This way, I can control the supply of it.
Mm.
So you can't just
I
like make
usually
a
only
whole
give
bunch of
guns to
gunpowder.
dwarves in my fantasy games.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how
I have a
I
whole
have mine. It.
Yeah, that oh, I have a hilarious story about one of the times I did let a character metagame a little bit. He discovered the dwarves had firearms. His first instinct wasn't to get the dwarves to give up guns. He wanted the gunpowder to make fireworks because he actually had a doctorate, or not a doctorate, but a knowledge that led him to make fireworks with the different metals. That 'cause I knew a little bit about firework making. If you put different metals, you get different colors.
Hmm.
Like I think magnesium makes green, or is that potassium? That might have been copper actually.
No.
I can't remember I can't remember the exact things were, but I let him in that little because it was I used to do a lot of mini campaigns, 4 to 6 games usually. I'll let him build a mini empire off of fireworks.
Okay. I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep the black and white.
Makes you look film noir.
Yeah. It's all production value and shit.
Now all we need is the cheesy background music while Justin tells the story of the woman's murder.
No.
I haven't actually seen enough to
So
start making a joke about it.
no, that's pretty good. Film noir. So
You need a hat though,
I
and a
got a
cigarette.
fedora. I just don't wear it very often.
And you got to be smoking. Always a dark and stormy night.
maybe I'm one of the city guard.
Nice
Best thing
hat.
I'm gonna do.
Jack, come check this one out.
Now, my first thought as soon as I see Justin said City Guard is the scene from RoboCop, Time Cop 2 where the
It's
guards trying to
all
make
warping,
the
bro.
Asian guy eat the donut off the ground. I could see Justin being that kind of cop. You knocked my donut out of my hand. Eat it off the ground, bitch.
Dusty. What?
Sit in.
No, I gotta go back to work on video stuff.
All right.
I just saw your video on my recommended, so I came up here.
Back on tonight's
If I have
topic.
another acid flashback, even though I've never done acid after watching your next video, I'm just used to it at this point. So something.
Yeah. You probably will, so.
Yeah.
Hey, he's working on more, I guess, horror and creep factor right now. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So he's been watching a lot of creepy ass videos.
Let
There's some
me.
creepy stuff.
Lemmy from what was that
Motorhead.
movie?
Motor-
Motorhead?
or Mice and Men.
Nice and man.
Was that it?
No.
No?
Film noir. Is there a Lemmy in a film noir film?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I thinking Lenny?
Lenny from Mice and Men.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time. A long time.
That would have been interesting with Lemmy,
It
though.
probably would have been better. Just saying.
Well, back onto the tonight's subject of medicine and
Uh,
Thanks, TCG. Appreciate that because I do
from
tend
Motorhead.
to let things ramble, but
yeah,
folks,
uh,
if you're new here, that's what's going to happen with any group
yeah.
of friends. You're not gonna. You sure you may have a topic and discuss it, and then you're going to be like, but hey, look at my new hat, because squirrel.
Yeah, it's more of a jumping off point than a topic as such.
Oh
Sure.
yeah.
Uh, the next thing I wanted to touch bases with was the whole genetic engineering, the prospect of what could happen, and at some point, let's face it, would be pretty commonplace, like we were talking about with Gattaca. You know, they're going to try to make the Superman. Oh no way! I think
But
I have that.
It's Bilbo.
I'm quite
Yeah,
confident at some point
that
they're
is
going
a
to.
that is a hell of a piece of miniature history. I used to have all of them.
I think I have all of them around here somewhere.
That's worth a pretty penny. I know a guy who has the molds, so I'm going to get mine done in pewter or tin or something, so they won't rot away. And Jackie can hand them off to his grandkids or something, provided such things are allowed. But I think the creation of the Superman through eugenics and genetic engineering is just going to be uh, demanded by the
Oh
population. The
yeah.
people they're going to want it, and
I,
it's
people scoff at genetic engineering nowadays, but as soon as they realize their children will be cancer free, their children will be diabetes free, even if they don't make their child look perfect, as soon as they find out they can end obesity and all of that kind of shit, they're like, sign me up.
yeah, we'll all will what better way to uh, you know ostensibly make your golden years, your senior years better than by having children that can take care of you like nobody else.
More importantly,
Yeah.
I have my copy of Tech War.
I have the comics.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Well,
No,
they're
I know.
already doing in vitro where they're like comparing embryos and deciding which one is better.
Right.
That's
You were
already
talking
has
about like
already
the
taken
CRISPR
place.
technology. I see stuff about that kind of thing all the time, and if they're even remotely successful, they're not even going to have to wait, or do it through the in vitro thing. They're going to find ways of gene therapy. It's like, oh, what you want your hair back, or you want to lose some weight, or you want to fix a defect, or you want to give yourself a minor superpower. It'll only be $500,000, and well, overnight procedure kind of thing. Next thing you know, you're doing weird crap, and you got a new diet because now you have to eat tin cans or something. You know, it's just inevitable.
Well, yeah, and then it'll only be 500,000 at first, right? It's like all those kind of
The
cosmetic
VCR,
procedures.
the VCR, it started out at thousands of dollars. Now you can get a DVD player for $20 because it's competition and supply and demand, etc. When you have multiple companies competing, you're gonna get super
Or
cheap.
it's even like once the new technologies are revolutionary, then they become cheaper, then they become smaller, then they become cheaper and smaller, and then they become old hat
Disposable.
and
It's
then
disposable.
yeah, disposable, right? Like that's the cycle of technology.
Well, the thing is
Uh,
with actually altering people, especially your offspring, when you have an elite class that wants to remain an elite class, I could see the prices going up and not down.
Well,
well,
Because there'll be
certain
people
things will
who,
go
who
up.
will pay it, and they're going to want to keep certain people out of it.
Yep.
Well,
maybe
certain things will go up.
depends on
Certain things
regulation,
will
right?
certain things will also go down because you got to keep the masses happy in some way. But superpowers, like we'll just go super. X-ray
Well,
vision, super strength, Captain
well,
America
there are
bodies.
certain
Those will be on the
superpowers.
high end.
there are certain superpowers in comics that are just like
Impossible.
total fantasy, right? Like
Yes.
X-ray
Well,
vision and
yeah,
shit
but you
like
And
get what
that.
I was saying.
flying and stuff like that. Yeah. Without
Yeah.
wings, you're not flying. And even with
Well,
wings, you're going to need like
you're the
4
wrong
seconds.
shape, right?
Right.
You're physically the wrong shape.
Right.
You
But,
weigh
Um,
too much. Yeah, there's
but making
too
you
much
heal
power.
faster or smarter or stronger or things like that.
or
Those are
like, okay, you might not get X-ray vision, but you could get like low light vision or infrared vision, or you
just
know,
extended
Yeah.
distance
full
range,
spectrum.
that sort of thing.
You could see it. You could see
Well,
X-rays and shit like that. Well,
yeah.
like
Oh, right.
you won't be able to see through people, but you might be able to see like energy waves that
Yeah.
like radio waves and
Different
shit like
spectrum.
that.
Sorry.
Yep.
Different spectrums of light or something I could definitely see not being on the expensive end, simply because that could be used by everyday schmoes to get the job done better. In which case, the elite want everybody to work as efficiently as possible, so they can make
Well,
as much money with as little as cost as possible.
how many fucking people actually need to see higher band light range to do
And you'll
these
see
things?
weird stuff like bioluminescence and stuff. Like if you could have like little flashlights built into your fingertips and stuff. There's all kinds of weird little things that they could
Yeah.
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yeah, I just had some horrible ideas with that one alone. Um,
Yeah. Imagine what that's going to be like when those come out. And Shadow's
Well,
like,
oh
"Congratulations! This movie series I've been thinking about for a while is finally capable of being done." Glowcock.
I wasn't thinking
there
that,
is.
but you're close. You're in the ballpark.
There are people who would
Pardon
pay
the
for
pun.
Within three
You know?
weeks, Glowcock 79 will be out, and that's
Well,
because
this
there'll
isn't
be
directly meta.
79 additions to the series.
Yeah, because those glow in the dark condoms, it's just everybody knows what it is. So, but yeah, I was thinking about Captain America. One of the first things you're going to get is a military, you know, uh, boom of soldiers. Instead of just getting vaccines and inoculations, they're going to be getting well, day one. Here's your 18 shots of super serum, and you're now going to start working out like a madman. And next thing you know, we have space marines.
Well, that was the
or Surgeon Hatred.
Yes, Raven, you always
That's
pick
the other
just the
possibility.
right time to come into the discussion when we're talking about dicks.
Glowcock.
Um,
Who the fuck is
so
she? I don't
I
see her.
sent you the exclusive private link. You're welcome to join. Just be forewarned. We're I think we all like smoked a big fat doobie or something before the show. Don't do drugs, kids. Stay at school.
Wee, look at this.
Hey,
Ooh.
I actually have a legitimate excuse. My local cops found a drug raid recently, and they're burning it within. I think it was either today or yesterday.
Okay, so you're high as a kite. Enjoy.
I live with two stoners.
Yeah, you guys do what you want. I'm.
Also, I've got this new camera toy.
Oh yeah, Raven. He's literally like an 8-year-old with a new fire engine. Just saying.
Wee.
I have not seen him this happy, like ever. I mean, literally ever. He's like a whole new Justin. I seriously wonder if he wasn't
Are you sure
cloned
he
and this
just
is
didn't
an
take his
8-year-old
meds
version.
today?
What?
I was going to say,
Who,
are you just didn't take his meds
You're
today?
absolutely right, Raven. Last week it was his big blue dicks from the Watchmen, and now we've got.
Hey, that wasn't me. I said people were wrong for that. That is evil.
It was really it was like one of those things that once was fine. We get it, but more than because it wasn't really that many times unless they really went off the wall on the director's cut. But it wasn't once was enough. It's
No,
like
I've seen the director's cut. They most of his shots after a certain point are just upper unless you are at a distance. But I feel the whole full frontal shot just to give you blue penis was unnecessary. I agree. Like at a distance and the occasional oh, is he naked? Does he have a blue penis? Would have been fine.
it would have been
Well,
funnier than
I-
shit if he had like tan lines.
Yeah. He
All right,
went
that
into the
would have made
booth
the shot
only.
worth it because that had just been a huge laugh at that point.
He went into the booth wearing his tidy whities, came out, blew everywhere except for the crotch,
Right, right.
and you just see him
Big
like
scowl.
immortal except for the crotch. He's just like his dick is getting older through time. Then he eventually
And
dies because his
Sally
crotch just
Jupiter would have had an
swells up.
even better reason for leaving that schmuck. Just saying. Uh, but hooking up with Night Owl, I guess. But anyways, so genetic engineering. What do you guys think about like using that as like either the players or the bad guys? What would you be more inclined to do? Have the players all the be the superhumans, or would it be the players? Because I think it's actually kind of an interesting idea of having the players as sort of like the underground, the last people who don't have the superpowers. Kind of
Maybe.
like
I think it would be funnier if you did like the reverse of Captain America and Red Skull, where you know how Captain America comes out, he's the pretty boy, he's all perfect, and he rah rah rah, and Red
uh,
Skull's like a fucking Red Skull, um, where the bad guys actually do the work to get looking better and whatever.
uh-huh,
They engineer the best version of something because they're egotistical, maniacal assholes,
uh-huh.
and then the government just injects their soldiers with whatever that gives them tentacles to fight back with.
Tentacles.
Well, that actually sounds legit, honestly.
It wouldn't be a Shadow and Sun show if we didn't have tentacles, would it? That one's for
Whatever.
you, Avenger.
Whoever
If you're
gets
ever
the
watching,
fucking job
just
done.
to let you know.
Yeah. Oh, you need super strength? Okay, you're an octopus man now.
Yeah, I don't want to live in that world where the women are all. "Brrr." No, thanks, man. No, 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 no. But it would be funny as hell. It would definitely make for a great old school black and white comic. That only puts out like 80 issues a month. Kind of thing.
Only 80 issues a month.
You got to get it from the guy, and he's got to pull out from behind the counter. Shh, here you go, dude. It's in a brown wrapper. Uh, but I'm going to show you guys something later that gave me a great idea for a sci-fi situation where it literally is uh, the normal people trying to resist the absolute massive influx of completely rewriting the human species into these new amoral Adonis killing machines, super intelligent, super arrogant, super physically fit, almost perfect in every
Hey,
way,
I
except
resemble that remark.
here where it counts. You know what I mean? Kind of like playing in a Terminator role playing game. Where you're the humans, the last humans, fighting against the Terminators with just overwhelmingly horrible odds against you, but fighting the good fight, trying to, having an upper level challenge from the get go, where you guys are the underdogs, the last vestiges of real humanity fighting against just an out of
Obey
control.
me.
Raven, you getting in here or not?
I am the new mutant guy. Ooh.
Don't need
Ooh.
sex anymore,
Admittedly, if
babies and
I
engineers. You know, or worse, because if you think about it, at some point, these supermen could very well decide that
Meow.
I was actually kind of waiting for that. Raven, that's for you.
I am Eisenmouth man. I don't.
He's naming is not his forte. Uh,
Hey, they pay me to be. Oh, where the fuck did that go? Uh,
that's just
where the fuck did it go?
where'd it go?
The invisible. I'm emoji man. Ha ha ha. Oh,
That's actually awesome. All you need is a little drop of blood, over on the side.
Every time I close my eyes,
That alone is going to get this video like 1,000 views. Thanks.
hi,
Thanks.
I am
Oh, there,
pixelated
get
guy.
back.
Witness protection.
Witness
8-bit.
protection, Justin. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
Nice TCG. I don't know what do you guys think. Would be if someone was saying, "Hey, I'm running this game where you're the underdog, living in the sewers, humans because the genetically perfect are now hunting down the last vestiges of the old humans." Would you
Hey, I
would
got
you
a cat.
would you play in a game like that?
Yeah, I'd, try,
Uh,
I'd give it a shot.
I can't say I'd say no, but as a personal thing, I'd have to admit I'd be one of the first people to sign up. But hey, we have a Captain America serum. I'd be one of the first people to sign up. I am fat, I am lazy, and I could use that natural physique.
It's going to turn you into Sergeant Hatred.
Really, you got no spirit of
No, 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 no. Princess Tiny Feet is not enough for Sergeant Hatred.
I don't know. I think it would be actually fun. I like the challenging games. I'm used to 4 hit point characters. That can actually through intellect and stealth and guile and
Trying
thinking
to pet my
things
cat.
through. You
It's my
just like hey
superpower.
Raven's Day.
They grafted a cat to my head. That's my superpower. I signed up for the
Yes, but what
government
they don't tell
superhero
you is
science
that the
program.
cat's the one in control now.
I can believe that. Meow.
Because we've had the games where you can play the Superman since the late '70s, and they have their moment in the sun here and there. Villains and vigilantes, and Marvel superheroes and things like that. Um, and they did okay, and I'm looking forward to actually
I
getting.
told
Go ahead.
the comment here. George just put up. I told you they graft a cat to your head.
Right, I can see that. That's actually a good idea. The last vestiges of humanity that aren't the gene pure or whatever they call them, the new bloods or something. Uh, the survivors would have to resort to some stuff, and I could see you know losing a limb or something. Well, we can't get you to a hospital because they're all run by the perfect, but you know. You know,
Oh, you should watch a show called Future Man. It's a really
okay.
campy little comedy series about two people that come back in time to meet this like slacker they think is gonna save the world. It's like a Terminator premise, but it turns out
You know what? I think I actually saw a
yeah,
clip
I don't
or an
want to ruin the
advert for
effect.
something. Is it called Future Man?
Future Man, Future
Yeah,
Man.
I did see. Was it on YouTube?
Uh, Probably, but it's like one of those like Peacock shows, not the channel, but the streaming thing. It's one of those.
Because I could have swore I saw something like that on YouTube as well as something also called Moon Man from way back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. Moon Man's something totally different.
I used to go to
He really
college.
likes Moon Man. Really likes the letter K, but only in repetitions of 3.
I was going to say I went to school with a guy named Moon Man. He had a strange habit of hanging his ass out of car windows, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think you know it's been done. We've had
Mm-hmm.
the superhero games for 40 years. I was just showing off Villains and Vigilantes. I used to have Superhero 2044, which I
It's more noticeable with the chair. Or did Shadow freeze? I think we lost Shadow.
He's
Yeah, we
frozen.
lost Shadow. He's all homosexual or something. Oh, there he is. I was calling you gay, but that's nothing new.
No respect, man. I get no respect. My own laptop. Uh, I was talking about, we've had the superhero games forever.
Calling him gay is a respectful statement, apparently.
No, I was talking about my internet kicking me off my own show. Um, why not play as with the superheroes as the bad guys? Seeing what kind of crazy stuff you could come up with, uh, you know, to fight against the man, the people in charge, etc. Seeing if you could
Yeah.
make it one more day. Keep the little colony of real people alive. One day, one more day away from, you know, imprisonment or whatever they would do. Throw you in the wood chipper, that kind of thing.
I would throw you into a wood chipper.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good idea there, George. He says also religion can play a big part as well, pro
Hmm.
genetic or against it or ambiguous. Like Dune, I would want to give it to the side of the good guys. They actually have maybe you know exorcists or whatever some form of religion to help them keep going, even if there was like no power other than keeping the morale up. Having the preacher that keeps trying to teach them that we're in the end times and these are the demons that are now ruling the world and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Could be interesting. Otherwise, uh, you would end up with a brave new world of would create you know a world that I think would be devoid of a lot of things like art and beauty, other than the company approved standards. You wouldn't have those weird. Okay, everybody froze. Can you guys hear me?
No. Yeah, we can hear you. You're
Okay,
good.
because everybody's frozen. Doc's got his hand up in the air like this. Justin's just like trying to swallow his microphone. Um, man, my internet is being asked tonight. It's usually
You're coming through. It's just your reception.
yeah, it's usually pretty good. Okay,
Uh,
but I don't know. It brings up some interesting ideas. But TCG, I get it. Most people are going to choose the easy route, uh, the things that they can't be versus playing things that are closer to what they are.
Yeah.
mhm.
Even
Yeah.
Well, I
from
didn't
the
say I
very
wouldn't play
beginning.
the scenario.
No, I get it. It'd be a hard sell, but it's funny, because even all the way back to the beginning of like D&D with like AD&D, even a first level character was better than everybody in town, right? You
Hmm.
know what I mean, Doc?
Yeah.
Maybe not your first level magic user, but the average citizen had 2 to 5 hit points. The average fighters and thieves,
AIDS will do that to you.
you were just leaps and bounds beyond the average citizen. So I get it. It's a game. You got to have lot masses of weenie monsters, squishies that you can just you know hack your way through like they're butter.
Butter. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm dying. We've killed the topic.
Certainly, and we're at about the 2 hour mark.
Yeah.
Just curious. I wanted to
So
you know.
we had a medical discussion. We covered prison rape and glowing penises. And what was the other
So if
major?
so if you've got bingo on your bingo card, send your bingo card in a self-addressed stamped envelope to my address on Discord, and we'll get those prizes right out to you. Bill from Bill Paints Minis. Where the hell are my bingo cards? Just saying. I'll have to hit him up later because I think that would be hysterical. Also, Justin, look into Cards Against Humanity. We got to play that sometime soon. I
Oh,
do
that sounds
believe
like work.
it sounds like work.
Yeah, you look
Oh,
into it. I'll pretend to play with you. That's what I
Hold
usually
on
do.
one second before we go, because I do believe next Saturday is the free for all. So we'll talk about whatever the hell comes up, like it's any other episode, just without a topic. And magically, we'll come up with a topic and run that to the ground. What's up, Sporticus?
Yeah.
You want my charger?
Yes, please.
Who the hell do you think you are? Stealing my charger.
I'm not stealing it. I'm asking for it.
I know. There you go.
Jackie, apparently you got money. You know, you can just go onto Amazon and order your own.
Yes, but that requires him
Yeah,
actually
but
spending his
getting
money.
a charger that works is very difficult. Every charger I've ever bought that wasn't like it didn't come with the phone or device of whatever kind has been horrible.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've had
I don't know why this one works so well. I don't know if it came with that laptop or
It
not.
did come with the
Then
laptop.
that's why.
Well, how about this? Don't buy an off-brand.
No, we've actually bought like Samsung specific. The advert says it's made for this and this and this. Blah blah blah. It's from
Yeah.
Samsung, and then it's not.
Well, then you report to Amazon and they give you your money back.
That's
Yeah.
probably a
Yeah,
good idea.
I just buy ONN.
I'm
It's a
frozen
real
now.
cheap brand, but it works just fine.
Yeah, it's usually what I do.
Maybe
You
we'll do
guys,
that tomorrow and go to Best Buy.
Best Buy, get your 900% markup.
Right, but at least I like going there because uh, I'm dealing with real people, not faceless entities at some mail order business, and they'll deal with it. They'll deal with the return, the exchange, or whatever. They'll have it right there in the store. I don't have to like mail it back and wait weeks to get my money back, or another of the same exact item that didn't work in the first place. That sort of thing. And there's people there for this dragon thing and something else.
Not the lights.
No, the light one is right here. Gonna give everybody a seizure back home?
No, I'm just about to expose the truth.
You have to actually point it at the device behind the
Which one? There are so many of them out there. Saying that is just one of the most vaguest things possible.
Yeah, but that's the truth he's going to expose. That he's exposing the
Yeah,
truth.
fair.
Have you watched any of his videos, bro?
I've watched a couple. Most of them that come out in the middle of the night, and yes, I'm a full-grown adult. That shit messes
Yeah,
with my head to the point that I can't step outside my shed because my imagination puts things in the dark.
Whose videos?
Jackie's
Your son's, Jackie's.
Oh,
Oh,
fucking
wait.
acid trip. Acid trip. I'm all frozen up here. I don't know if I'm
Okay, the first two episodes are actually pretty normal.
Yeah.
but then he drank the Kool-Aid, and things got weird.
Why does my current picture look like an album cover?
It kind of does.
It really does.
Yeah,
You just kick it back out.
it's like beat poetry or something.
I'm deep, man. I'm deep.
Yeah, it should have the words above it. Justin chills. That's what that picture looks like.
All right, folks, we're gonna let Justin get some beauty rest. I'm gonna go maybe do some writing, maybe just go to bed early. Nah, that never happens.
Send me a link to that stuff on the Discord.
I will. You mean the story?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely, I will.
Yeah.
Shadow,
Yo,
I am going to send you back an edited version of your book.
oh dear God. Okay.
Oh,
I am not recording
I was
it.
really tempted to.
I'm leaving your southern twang. I'm leaving that, but I am giving it proper spacing, proper. I forgot what the reverse
Punctuation?
comma, the one that's on top, punctuation thing, and other things like that. So it's easier to read.
Cool. Yeah,
I was really
thought I
tempted
went
to
through
do that.
most
but-
of that, but maybe I
No,
missed
you didn't
things.
get rid of any of that.
Oh, I know I added
No.
the apostrophes and things like that, and proper spelling.
This guy's got just a single block of text for like 40 pages or whatever it is.
It's like 12 or
Wow.
13.
Yeah.
Cool. That'll spread it off to like 15 or 17 pages.
Yeah.
Fuck, I smell
Yeah.
weed. What the hell?
It's the lights.
Maybe it's taking me back to a place I belong. Country roads. Uh,
Oh,
Better, but he turned off the other light. So, folks, have a great evening. Thanks for playing along. I will see you guys Monday over on this guy's show Monday morning,
one
unless we're
day
gonna
on my
do
show.
or
Oh no,
Hungar's.
Hungar. Hopefully Hungar's out there, and we'll see him when that.
Yeah. We haven't seen enough of him. I'm surprised he didn't pop in tonight, but then again, I haven't looked at the chat in about 10 minutes. Sorry, guys.
No, he hasn't popped in.
Yeah, he popped in briefly on James's show earlier.
Hmm.
George, I looked for you over on Bear's channel. I think that's where, like I said, I met you. If you go over there and like just post a comment in like his general thing, that I can click on you and invite you um, to over to my Discord. And yes,
Hmm.
we will be playing D&D tomorrow evening. I'm looking forward to that.
Y'all, tomorrow evening. Tomorrow.
Yep.
I think Shadow was talking about the audience generally, Raven, though. When he said, see y'all over on my channel. Yeah, tomorrow night, we're going to crush some orcs or skeletons or whatever the fuck we're fighting this week.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I want to drink a freaking margarita while watching the waves go by on the ship. You're making me fight things. I want to do some slice of life crap, bro.
We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay.
we'll call it. We'll see you guys later. Thanks
Party
again.
on.
Happy
Later on.
trails.
Night.